Today we're going to do a super quick setup in my work bullet journal, so let's go ahead and get started. Hey y'all, welcome back to Dots and Beyond. My name is Beth. Today we are setting up February in my work bullet journal because it is February 1st and I have not done this yet. This is just one of those weeks that has completely gotten away from me. In fact, I've been very sporadic in actual use of my journal even in January. I feel like a chicken with my head cut off. Got to get things organized again. So we're going to go ahead and get February here on the calendar so that I can proceed with some sanity for the rest of the month. And I do a very minimal setup in my work journal. I will link down below that series for 2023 if you want to catch the 2023 setup as well as the January setup. I am using images from Unsplash or Pixabay that are all sort of clock or time related this year. It's the closest thing to a theme that I have. I print these on matte sticker paper just using my LaserJet printer here at home, and we're just going to go ahead and stick that right there using my Tombow tape runner. So super simple. This pack of matte photo paper is going to last me all year and probably into the next because I'm able to print 2 of these on every single sheet, just going at landscape version. So I've already printed Marches as well. I just went ahead and picked out Marches, and we are going to slap that right on there. And it's a little bit crooked. That's okay. That's how I feel about my work journal. It just gives me a little something to give me sort of a theme and a vibe. And it is February, and right now it is icy outside here in Arkansas. We don't get a whole lot of snow, but occasionally we do get an ice storm, which nobody likes and nobody knows how to drive in. So we're all working from home right now. So I have got this clock in here, and I'm going to go ahead and set up this other side with my linear calendar. To do that, I do use these stickers that came with the journal for the official bullet journal, and I also need to stick on my February header. Let's see, where do I want to put that? Let's just put that right there, and then go ahead and get our days on here. And of course I only need 28, so I'm going to go ahead, even before I peel all of this off, and trim this at the 28 mark. These are my handy dandy stationery stickers that came in the Archer and Olive December sub box. One of my favorite of their sub boxes this far. Every time I think I'm getting really close to going, maybe I don't necessarily want to subscribe anymore, they come out with something like these, these stationery stickers in a really great box, and it keeps me plugged in. Isn't that how stationery boxes work? So I'm gonna go ahead and put that there, and hopefully I am really not succeeding when it comes to sticker placement of late. It has just been a struggle for me, but that's okay. And that'll be close enough, I think. I think that'll work for me. I mean, I think they're a little bit low on the dot grid, but we will make it. We will survive. That'll be fine. And of course, then the one here that I'm going to need to trim is because the month starts on a Wednesday, which is today. Y'all are going to see this today. I mean, that's just how we're rolling. Maybe you'll see this today. It might be tomorrow. It depends on what my workload looks like this afternoon and if I feel like I can actually function. Now, the key here is going to be, can I get these just as low? Ooh, that's high. See, and we are stuck. Y'all, I actually bought some of those sticker tweezers, and I always forget that I have them, and I never get them out to use them. I probably should, as uncoordinated as I am in the sticker game. Okay, but those are on there. And then this is my daily pen, my Sharpie S gel. So all the black that I'm going to do will be in the daily pen. I do have a Pigma Micron in a gray just to give me a little bit of a different color on my calendar. Give me a little bit of delineation from one color to the next. But I'm going to go ahead and get my mini calendar on here. I do like a mini calendar. It is just one of those things that I have grown to really like. And then I also never really thought I would care for keeping track of week numbers, and that's one of those things that I really have to have now as well. So here on my monthly calendar. I do run it down the middle, and I keep 2 different things on either side. As someone in the event industry, I will put my events on the left side, and I will put meetings, appointments, that sort of thing on the right. I keep a digital calendar as well, but I do like to be able to see it. Now let's go ahead and get our dates in here for February. I'm still kind of surprised that it's February. I was shocked that it was 2023, and now I'm shocked we're already a month into 2023. I knew that this spring was going to be a busy one for me, but there have been 3 or 4, that is a 3, Beth. There have been 3 or 4 surprises added to my calendar for the spring that I was not expecting, because of course, and yet we carry on, right? We just do what we have to do. Never a dull moment in the life of somebody in the event industry, even when you make a change for quality of life, which I did twice and succeeded the second time. I'm definitely less stressed than I was, but I still haven't been in my new position yet a full calendar year. And so there are still some surprises that pop up where people go, oh yeah, this is also part of your job. And you have to add it in to your list. Now, on this page, I have what I call the big list, which is a list of all of my events, projects, things that I'm working on the daily. On the left side, I put my priorities. I have space for all 4 of the weeks of the month. And then I have space for deadlines, detours, and additions. So those things I said that came along in the month of January, I wasn't planning on spring. I added into additions so that I could then add them to my big list here for February. Detours are those things that really came along and it hijacked an entire week or 2 or 3 days and really interrupted your productivity, so that if you need to go back and justify anything with your supervisor in regards to time management, like you kind of have, this thing here, or these 2 or 3 things came along and they took up this amount of time that was not accounted for. So I do track detours as well. I've rearranged this page just a little bit. For January, I kind of had week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, and then other larger boxes. And I decided to put the weeks all down one side, and then the deadlines, detours, and additions on there. And I am going to just write in these larger margins that the bullet journal edition 2 gives you. I've decided I really like having this space in the margin to use for headers or to make a quick note if I'm in the middle of a meeting, make sure that I get something highlighted, use a different color if I absolutely have to grab a different color. Just utilize that space since it is there. We're gonna have to turn the book here a couple of different ways. And I am doing this in that cool gray Pigmamicron. This is the 05, so it's not a super thin nib, but it's not a super fat one either. And I can get the control that I need. And I'm not even being as neat as I was in the January setup. I mean, this is real life, y'all. This is, I need this today, or I needed it today, and I took notes on a different piece of paper until I get the time on my lunch break. Yeah, that's where I'm on my lunch break filming this video. And I'll edit it after work and we'll get it up for you sometime tonight. That's just how it's rolling. Oh, and then also deadlines. Lots of deadlines. So many deadlines in February. I just can't even begin. But that's okay. That's why we keep track of them. And additions. And again, one of the reasons that I'm doing this in the cool gray is so that then when I write over it with that black, you'll definitely be able to see the difference between the two without it being a red or a blue. I mean, I could, but I do really prefer to just keep my work journal a little more neutral when it comes to the color palette. And the other thing that I'm doing is that in January, I did not segment areas for this big list. I just kind of wrote my big list straight down. So when you guys saw it, it was just an empty page until I had time to fill it out. And I'm really just kind of focus on putting things that are this quarter on this side. So events, projects, daily sort of things I need to get done on this side, and on this side will be next quarter, second quarter, starting in April, just so I know which one I need to be focusing on right now. And then like I said over here, we're just gonna go ahead and separate this. And of course, again, this bullet journal edition 2 has these teeny 3 dotted lines on the third markers and a 2 dot instead of a 1 dot on the half marker. So the only thing I really needed to count was the number of squares here to get quarters, and that was no, never mind. I could have looked in the front cover and gotten that measurement because there is a grid guide in this journal already built in as well. And when I start putting in the pencil lines and that sort of thing, I just don't think about it. I just don't think to flip back here to the cover and check the quarter mark. I'm just kind of in the zone and I just count however many I need and I move on. So again, this is something that I will fill out later because a lot of my information, of course, is confidential, but I'll have my big things for each week that I need to get done here, super big deadlines here, those detours we talked about here in the middle, and then additions that are not just a detour for a few days or a week, but they're additions for my calendar that need to go onto my big list for the next month over here. And my big list is a big list. It takes this page when I write small. If I was writing sort of my normal handwriting, I might actually do more than this page. I might actually need a 2-page big list, and we're getting really close to the fact that I might need a 2-page big list. But for now in February, we're going to give this a go. And if I need a 2-page big list for March, we will figure that out. And then I go right into my weekly and my daily setup. And what is important to note in the change this time is that I returned about halfway through the week of January. And if y'all start to hear a hum, my heater just came on, and considering that there is ice on the trees and ice on the ground, I'm not going to turn that off for the sake of filming. I normally do, but I'm absolutely not going to do that. But halfway through January, I did return to keeping an Alistair method to-do list for my tasks. And so what I have here, and I have actually started week 6. I started it in January because I had to have it. So Monday and Tuesday, I already have tasks filled in on a previous page. I'm just going to migrate those to this page so I feel like I'm starting fresh for the rest of the week. What the Alistair method is, that looks like a P, that's an F, is, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Just make a dot and write down a task that you want to get done that day. And when you're doing your brain dump, you don't necessarily have to make sure all the Monday are at the top, and then all the Tuesday, and then all the Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday. I don't do Saturday and Sunday because with my current position, I don't often work Saturday and Sunday, which is great. It's nice to have my weekends back. And then you can mark off that task or migrate it if you need to get it done on a different day. So if I don't get it done on Monday, then I put the dot on Tuesday and do it there. What I have added to mine, and what I used to keep in my old work journal, I used to keep a separate waiting list. Because how many times do you fill in something that you need to do, of course? So, I need to send a draft of an event program to somebody for proofreading, so to speak. And I do that. I send that to our copy editor. And I mark that task off as done for me, but then I'm waiting on the copy editor to get it back to me. So I can write waiting, and I can put copy. And then when that comes in, I can check it off over here in the side. And then I can make my next task with what do I do with that copy now? Does it go to our design team to be put into a program? That sort of thing. But I keep this tiny waiting on column along with my task list, because it seems like I'm always waiting on somebody to get something back to me that is directly related to my task list as well. So I have reintegrated this into my planning system. I had to throw it in again. I was just keeping a daily log. I had to throw it in again halfway through January because, again, I said I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off and not necessarily feeling like I had everything organized. And then I will start in on my daily log. And I think the thing that I've done differently with my daily log, these stickers I got from Amazon. Sometimes you can get them from Stationery Pal, but they sell out very quickly. They are clear. So there's February 1st for today. And they're on Amazon. I will link them in the description box below, along with the other few supplies that I am using. But what I typically do is go ahead and next to this, I'll draw my little appointment circles, write in any appointments or meetings that I have today, put a line underneath it, and then start taking any notes or whatever I need for the day. I was doing those as they came along. So if I had meetings and then I was just working off my task list, but I didn't necessarily make any notes for the day, sometimes I would have, you know, so January 3rd was here and the 4th was here, and the 5th, maybe if I took more notes on the 4th, was down here. I'm thinking I might start using 1 page per day. So for February, we're gonna try it. This will be February 1st, and that way, even if I'm jotting down something from a quick phone call that I might normally stick on a Post-it note or something, I'll stick it here instead because I have the whole page. And I know that that's going to make me go through my journal a whole lot quicker, and I may need to evaluate how much of an annual setup I put in the front here, or if I start keeping those sorts of collections in their own journal, my event plans and that sort of thing. I will have to determine that. Where's an empty event plan? I don't know if I have one right now. It doesn't look like I have one right now. So yeah, everything I've already filled in, all the pages for my event plans. Like I said, a lot has come down the pike my way. We're gonna try to do just a full day. See how that works. See if keeping 1 day on a page keeps things a little more organized for me, or if that's just a waste of paper, and I don't know what the answer to that is going to be. And that, y'all, is a very quick setup of my February. So again, just my one little image that I don't draw, I just print from open source photography, my calendar, my dashboard with my priorities, and then my big list, and then starting off with the Alistair method task list for this week, and then the daily logging for this week as well. That's it. And my trusty Sharpie S gel pen. Oh, I should have put that white bookmark on that day. I keep this one here on my future log, and I keep this one here at the beginning of all of my event plans and event pages so that I can quickly get back to those. And then I keep the white one on whatever day I am on. That is how I typically work in my work journal. So if you have any questions on my work journaling process, let me know down in the description box below. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one.